It is a wonderful thing to be here with you this morning and in this glorious day in fall. My goodness me. Autumn, the fall. Time for all of us to pause and to gather around everything we're grateful for and to appreciate the richness and the fullness in our lives and to celebrate that, you know? And we ought not to wait for Thanksgiving for that to happen. Every single day we should gather our good to us, look at it, give thanks for it and be grateful, and then go off feeling good about it all. It's always about looking at what you have and never looking at what you haven't got. Always looking at what you have, giving thanks for it, being appreciative for it, and then I'll guarantee we'll always have enough. And the enough will always be plenty. And we'll never have to worry about what we have not got. So with that in mind, let's center ourselves in the awareness of something much greater than we are. And so here it is now. We're going to take a conscious, connected breath. We're going to take 2 more conscious, connected breaths. And know that what we are breathing is the breath of life. Spirit's own substance, Spirit's own power, Spirit's own grace filling us fully and then going out from us to bless. Every breath we breathe, filling us up with that fullness of Spirit and going forth out then from us to bless. What a beautiful thing to think of. What a beautiful thing to feel. What a beautiful thing to know that every breath I breathe, consciously or unconsciously, fills me up with that love and that light and that peace and that beauty and that power of my Creator. And then I can release it out into the world as a blessing, to go forth to bless everything and everyone around and about me. This is an awesome thing to know, even a more awesome thing to feel, and an even more awesome thing to express in blessing. God, by means of me, its own breath, breathing in life and breathing out life, bringing life to where there seems to be lifelessness, bringing light to where there seems to be darkness, bringing joy where there seems to be sadness, bringing courage to where there seems to be only weakness, bringing power where there appears to be powerlessness. That is what I am called to demonstrate, to manifest, to express, because I can. It is the divine design of me to be able to do so. I am here on this plane as a blessing. I am here on this plane because I have been called into existence to express the very presence of God. And I will not do that caught up in pettiness, caught up in lack, caught up in limitation, caught up in victimhood, caught up in an energy that I allow to suggest to me what I cannot do, or what I cannot be, or what I haven't got. That is not the way of Spirit. And it's not meant to be the way of Spirit's offspring. For it has been given to us to flourish and to thrive. And it has been given to me to come into my own, be on purpose, and move with great spiritual fortitude and Spirit's power and grace forward along the path of my purpose until it is fulfilled. And that fulfillment being self-realization, God-realization. All is so very well when I am thinking aright, feeling aright, acting aright. All is so very well when I know that right where I am, God is, and where God is, all is well. And so I take cognizance of this moment of grace that I've allowed myself to enter into, awake and alert, open and receptive, fully in the intention of receiving what I'm here in this moment to receive, and be enriched and be empowered by it. I am knowing for myself now that the grace of Spirit is moving through every aspect of my being and washing all over me and washing out from me everything that is of any kind of ailment, everything that is not of life and light and love and peace and beauty and grace and joy and goodness and kindness and understanding and compassion, all being washed out of me now through the power of amazing grace, so that I feel light of being, uplifted, cleansed, renewed, reborn, awake and alert and ready for the goodness of God's grace to bring to me and through me that which is only good, that which is always of a blessing. I stand in this awareness now. I stand in the intention of this awareness to be it in expression. And what I know for myself, I know for all of creation, every living thing, for there's only the one. There is only the one. There is only the one. And I am part of every aspect of that one, and every aspect of that one is part of me. So there is only my great self out there to experience. And I'm open to the grace of knowing every morning as I wake up that I go forth to meet only the one, to serve only the one, to express only the one. So I declare for all of life, all is well, all is well, all is very well. Now in deep gratitude, always with a sense of thanksgiving, and always with the deep desire to be in praise and love and respect and honoring of my source. From the core of my being, which resides deep within the sacred heart of life, I express out into the creative process, the law of life itself, this set truth for myself and for all of creation. And I know I am responded to now immediately as I say, and so it is. And so it is. And so here's what we are knowing. There are no accidents. There's no happenstance, so to speak, although we talk about happenstance all the time. Everything that happens in your life and everything that happens in my life happens for some reason, known or unknown to us. But it happens for a reason, and it happens because this is the path we're on. whatever it is, good, bad, and indifferent. If it happens, it's happening for a reason. And how you and I interact with that depends upon how much we feel blessed as a result of it. Now, this is not easy when chaos seems to be all around us, and certainly mostly when chaos is within ourselves. It's not easy to get to that awareness, to step back from this as a witness or an observer and say, you know what? There's some good reason why this is happening. There is some good reason why this is happening. I don't know it now. I may never know it. But I'm going to go with the flow of it, and I'm going to trust my life's process. I'm going to trust life. I'm going to trust that the creator of my life and living, who is the sustainer of my life and living, knows what it's all about, and it's okay. And that somehow or another I will come through it. And I will come through it well. I'll be the better of it. Because I trust life, because I know life is on my side, because I know the universe supports me, because I know God is with me, in me, and moving through me, then good comes out of everything. It always does when I'm knowing that. When I'm looking for the pony in there somewhere. The key is not to be knocked off of center. The key is not to fall back into victimhood. The key is not to go to lamenting and fear and dread and doubt. The key is to be like Job and to stand tall and strong in it all and say, this will not take from me my awareness of the truth, and I will overcome. I will overcome as Gandhi overcame, as Nelson Mandela overcame, as Martin Luther King overcame, as Mother Teresa overcame, and anybody in your life whom you know to have strife and overcame that strife did. You too and I too can overcome anything that crosses our path if we understand that we can get in touch with that which is greater than we are and allow it to illuminate us, strengthen us, fortify us, and be the grace that goes before us, removing every obstacle in the way of the breakthrough into mending or fixing or healing, whatever it is. But that's the kind of faith, that's the kind of conviction, and that's the kind of awareness that we have to grow within ourselves. That's what the definition of faith is. Standing up in the faith and in the knowing and in the awareness of this too shall pass. I am overcoming this through the power of something greater than I am, when all the evidence says you're not. When everything is pointing to the opposite. Definition of faith. You stay in the truth that you're owning, that you're claiming, and that you're knowing. And see if all of the naysayers will have to eat their words. And see if all the bricks of the debris of everything in your way won't crumble into dust and dissipate itself. Because you of yourself do not do it. It is the power, it is the presence of that which is greater than you or within you that takes care of business. And it brings us back to the teaching always and ever. The only thing that you have to do, your only task and mine too, is to get clear about how I am going to interact, engage with this challenge. to get clear about that, and to know that everything is possible in spirit, there is nothing impossible. And stand in that clarity and state through imaging and visioning in my mind how I see this outcome, how I see myself at the end of this experience, regardless of what it is. If it's a crumbling marriage, if it's a failing business, if it's being let go from a work, if it's a health issue, regardless of what the appearances are, I have to get the picture of how I see this continuing into something that is good for me in the end. And I have to picture it how I wish it to be. So if it is a crumbling marriage, I have to know within myself, chaos is a natural part of life. And I may not be sure why all of this is going on or how it ever got to this, or whose fault it is, or whatever it is. All I have to picture in my mind is the outcome I want to experience. And I have to have that spiritual fortitude, that spiritual courage to say, okay, beloved presence, I trust my life's creative process and your power in it, and your guidance in it, and your illumination in it, and your desire for me to flourish and to thrive and to experience good and only good. So, regardless of what the outcome of this is, I know it's happening in my life so that something better, something greater can happen, and that I can go to another level as a result of this. And so you see in your mind, if you want to be in a marriage, you see yourself in a beautiful marital relationship. And you define in your mind how you wish that to be. But it has to be something that you're visioning that is a partnership. Not somebody giving all the time and the other one taking, or the other one taking all the time and the other one giving, but a partnership. But that's talk in and of itself. If it's a health issue, regardless of what the doctor's saying in the doctor's office, you're saying in your mind, "'Tain't so. Not so. I'm not accepting that. I don't believe that." And you go in your own mind to what you want to see the outcome being of this. And you picture it and you image it and you vision it and you perceive it and you touch it and you taste it and you feel it and you get convicted about it. You have to convince yourself. Convict yourself. Nobody else can. You have to stand in the face of all the evidence being against your imaging this and say, in God all things are possible. And miracles happen all the time. Why not now? Except they're not miracles. They're the result of your knowing, your awareness, your power of knowing that life is on your side and wants to support you, and that everything you need is at hand for a good outcome here. And it's the same in anything. If the business is going down and you're going to lose your job, you always see yourself in a job that you love, in a job that supports you very well financially, in a job where you can flourish and thrive. You don't get all scared when everybody else around you is going to be like that. Oh my God, what are we going to do? And you're saying to yourself, I'll do what I always do. I'll trust my source. I'll trust the provider of my good. I know that no one employs me. I'm in the employment of life. Life is my employer. And life is always vibrant and full with all kinds of great good things for me to participate in. That's how we do it. Now it's time for us to take the power that is given to us and to use it and to orient it toward producing good in our lives. So what? So that we can produce good in other people's lives too. We're here to serve, and there's no other reason why you and I are here. We are here in sacred service to life. Because the definition of spirit is the givingness of life back onto itself, at the back of the glossary here. And if you're an aspect of spirit, your definition is you are the givingness of life back onto itself. You are in sacred service to life. You're here to expand it, to support it, to affirm it, to advance it, to calm it, to help mend it, fix it, heal it, pacify it, whatever. That's why you're here. There's no reason for being here. There is no other. Now, there are all other little things that happen on the way, nice, wonderful things, and not so nice, wonderful things. But if we stay centered in the awareness of our purpose, all is well. I opened up the book this morning I was thinking about this morning, and it opened up at this page, and it says, "No one gives to us but ourselves." There was a time when I would have picked up that book way back when I first came into this awareness of this philosophy, and I would have thought, no one gives to us but ourselves. Nah, that's interesting, and pass on. But when I take up something like that now and I read it, it almost knocks me off my feet. Oh my goodness. No one gives to me but myself. Now, I could spend a year contemplating that, a lifetime contemplating that. So how am I with my giving to myself? What am I giving to myself? Is it good for me? Is it healthy? Is it uplifting, advancing, enlivening, affirming? Whatever it is I'm giving to myself by means of the way I'm thinking, the way I'm feeling, the way I'm doing. How am I giving to myself? What am I giving to myself? Is it life-giving? Is it toxic? What is it that I'm giving to myself? How am I caring for myself? Some of the things I have given to myself, should I take them away? Are they not good for me? And what are the good things I'm giving to myself? Should I, vamp up that? I mean, just on that one sentence, we could spend forever. And I'm asking us all to do that in our own quiet time during the week. And the quote here is, "And he fain would have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him." And that's a direct quote from the story of the prodigal son in the New Testament of the Christian Bible. There was a young man who gave to himself all kinds of toxicity, demanded it indeed, his inheritance, which he duly went off and squandered, living a debauched life until he had nothing left. Realizing, okay, when you have nothing, those particular people you thought were friends are not friends, they disappear. You've nothing to give to them. And they are takers. Oh, the beauty of the story is, anyway, he comes to his senses and all is well. How true this is. No one can give unto us but ourselves, and no one can rob us but ourselves. So no one can give to us, and no one can take from us but ourselves. And how does that happen? That happens through the kind of mental atmosphere we build for ourselves. The kind of mental atmosphere that creates the landscape of our minds. And sometimes the landscape of our minds is not pretty. Ooh, you'd say to yourself, well, who landscaped that? You did. I did. That's why I often ask the question, is your mind a safe place to be? Is your mind a safe place to be? Have you created a safe landscape for you to be in your mind? I remember saying to a very dear and close friend of mine, whew, I wouldn't like to be living in your mind just now. And he got it. You can say things like that to a dear friend that knows you're there for them. And they can say the same thing to you, by the way. It's a good thing to ask ourselves, where's your mind right now, Moira? Where is it? What's it looking like just now? Is it a safe place to be? What's going on in that mind? What kind of a garden are you making in there? Is it a Halloween one? Some of those Halloween gardens are scary, even for adults, never mind the children. That's what we're going to ask ourselves today, at least, and certainly work on it through the week. What has my mind produced in my life? And I do this because it's a symbol of where the mind is. But I could do this. What is my mind producing for me right now? There's as much mind in my little finger as there is in my brain. Something else to contemplate. There's as much mind in my little pinky toe as there is in my brain. Because mind runs throughout it all. Remember what the experts say. Your mind creates your reality. And every cell, every atom of your body is listening in to your mind and is changed by what it hears. Sickening thoughts will create sickening cells. Healthy thoughts will create healthy cells. And remember, our bodies are renewing themselves every 11 months. Everything changes. It's good to work with that. Okay, I may have produced this, that, and the other in my body right now, but you know what? It's on the way out because it's in the state of renewing and renewal. So with this in mind, we are now going to listen to a meditation of Carolyn Mace's. And it comes from her work on grace. And you can get this in, it's 2 CDs in a packet. And it's her Grace book and her Grace CDs. So if you want the exact title for it, I'll have it for you later. But she, you can go to any bookstore and see it, whatever it is she's written on grace or whatever it is, she has on tapes on grace, it would be from this. And I find it to be a very, very powerful meditation. So I'm saying to you now, if there's anything that you have unresolved, be it mental, spiritual, emotional, or, physical, and it needs healing, I would invite us all to be open to that happening right now. Whatever it is you think in your life that needs healing can happen right now. Yes, right now. So I'm going to ask us all to take a conscious, connected breath and get back into the awareness that you're in the presence of something greater than you are, that you are in the presence of the creator of your being, the sustainer of your life, the lover of your soul, and that presence totally fills you. So through the power and the presence and the grace of Spirit, each one of us now is open and receptive to the gift in this meditation.
To heal. Close
Number 8.
Take a deep breath. Imagine yourself under your shaft of light. The shaft has been open, and you say, "Dear God, I invoke your precious gift, the grace of healing. I sit in silence waiting for you. As your grace pours abundantly into my energy field, into my field of grace, I relax my body and I open my soul, and I know nothing prevents your grace from flowing through me." I take a deep breath and I merge with your breath. I am one with you. I am one with you. I am one with you. And I feel my body melting. My body melting. My body is melting. And my soul is melting into my body. And my pain is melting. And my soul is melting completely, taking charge of my physical form. And my soul is getting stronger and stronger and stronger as my body is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And the grace is moving through my spine. And the grace is moving through my spine and down my back and down my arms. The grace is melting right through any illness that is in my body. I feel the grace moving down my arms and into my cell tissue. My cell tissue feels fluid now. And any blockage, any negativity, any illness, any tumor, any disease, any cancer begins to flush out of my system. The grace of healing is bright gold. I feel it now. It's a heat. And it's flowing through me and it's moving completely through my body. And I feel this cleansing happening. A cleansing like I have not seen before, moving completely through every cell tissue. Flushing at the speed of light. Flushing right through me. And I feel it going all the way through, flushing through my hands, all the way through the tips of my fingers. There is nothing but light left in my arms. And nothing but light as it's flowing through and flushing everything that is diseased through my thighs, my knees, my legs, and out the bottom of my feet. I look at myself, and I am only light, and I cannot see my body. I am only light. I cannot see my body. I am only light. And in this moment, I realize I am fully healed. I am fully healed. Thank you, God. And I let this grace flow to my family. The grace continues to flow through me. There is no end to it. I let the grace flow to those I love, and I name them now. And I embrace each one with this grace. And I feel the grace moving through each one as I hold their heart to my heart. knowing full well that to ask for a healing is to be graced with a healing. And I place myself under the vow of silence. Silence contains the grace. I will pray for them. I know this grace will heal, and I will contain their faith, for I have no doubt that this grace will heal, as God determines the healing. And now I will hold my adversaries to my heart. Healing those who have harmed me, and those who perceived that I have harmed them. And I will pour grace around this. For I want no darkness around me. And I release them. And now, I send grace around the whole of my life. And I pour grace down my path of service, cleansing and clearing it of my fears that it is not guided by you, dear God. It is guided. I see this grace moving boulders, cleansing the way, clearing my walk and my path. Healing my fear that I will be alone, that I will be abandoned, that you will not be with me. I cleanse that. My life is filled with grace no matter where I walk. As I take a deep breath with you, dear God, I hold my beloved earth in my hands, no bigger than a marble. I look at the size of my soul and my little earth, and I hear you say to me, everyone you love lives there. Everything you love lives there. Look at how small your planet is, how vulnerable, how tiny. And God says, hold this for me. Hold this. Keep it in a field of grace. It is so in pain. And look at how big you are and how much grace you have to offer. Hold your planet like this. This is how powerful you are. You are holding all the peoples of the earth equally now. You see, you can't even see them. All of these people are one soul. You are a channel for grace. Feel the shaft of that. Feel that grace move through you to all humanity, now and always. There is no end to your ability to serve the healing of all humanity and your own. Now take a deep breath and come on back.
So coming back feeling good, coming back feeling better than ever, coming back knowing all is well, coming back deeply convicted that this is so, that the healing has occurred. Remembering that healing anyway is simply the revealing of the wholeness and the health that's already there. And it's just identifying with it, saying yes to it, and letting it be. It's a very powerful thing to do. It's important that we give ourselves, as Caroline May says, the silent time. The silent time is the time wherein the soul unfolds most exponentially. Because we extrapolate ourselves from the world of the subjective, the outer world, so that we can enter into the world and the experience of the absolute. And it's necessary for that to happen. Be still and know that I am God. There's a reason why these invitations are given to us. There's a reason why you and I ought to respond to them. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will refresh you, as the scriptures say. I am with you as I have always been, and I shall always be with you. Lean on me, for my burden is light, say the scriptures. Light. Light meaning illumination and lightness of being. It is within you, it is within me, to have this deep, 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 close, connected relationship with our source. And when we do, life is always poised, no matter what's going on. No matter what the chaos is, I can remain in poise once I'm connected consciously, deeply, madly and passionately at a love level with my source. And when I'm madly and passionately in love with something, I have absolute faith and trust and confidence in it. And there's no naysayer can change that. The mystical marriage is the marriage we're all called to. And every single relationship we enter into is just the impulse within us to seek the intimacy with our souls. Every single pleasure we look for, be it in a person, a place, or a thing, is just us wanting to experience the mystical marriage between the lover and the beloved at soul level. The integration of the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul. That's what the mystical marriage is all about. And all the great sages and all the great saints knew this. And that's why when you read up on the mystics, they will speak a great deal to the mystical marriage of the soul with the Creator. How blessed we are to know these things. How blessed we are for understanding we can respond to this invitation. And remember, Spirit always and only ever invites, never imposes, always invites. And we have to respond, which is why again in Scripture it says, God awaits your availability. How could it be otherwise? Otherwise we would not be free spirits. and enjoy the freedom of our souls. And we are free to think what we choose to think, to feel what we choose to feel. And based upon that, so goes our lives. As our thoughts are, so our life is. As our feelings are, so our life is. So that's our time together today. And whatever it is that you're here to receive, I'm knowing that you have received it and said yes to it. And it's always a joy to be in Wednesday morning with you all. And those of us who are not here included, of course.